I'm ready for you, my man. Nice background.
Yeah, I did this, just to be a dork, but it's a general consensus among many fans that your version of Lex Luthor is considered to be the best ever. What do you think it was about the Smallville version of the character that just endured?
I think it was a lot of things. I think it was the cinematography. I think it was the lighting. I think it was the writing. I think it was the character development. I think that my character was really the only character that was truly developed, whether it was glimpses into the past or the future, the battle, always butting heads with my father, John Glover, amazing actor. Um, you never know how someone's going to perceive your role. You really don't. And everyone always embraced my character, and they said, "We don't want him to turn bad. We're watching season 4 or 5 or 6, or why does he have to turn bad?" And I'm like, "Well, we know the future. We know that it's inevitable." And I'm delighted when I read Deadline or I read Screen Rant, and they're like, or KryptonSite, and they're talking about the best Lex, and I'm like, I was always a big Gene Hackman fan, but when critics and fans and other my peers, when they say it makes me incredibly happy, and I'm lucky. I mean, Blanche, my dog's going crazy, but it was a great show to be on, and I really got to evolve. The character got to evolve, and it was a lot of fun playing.
So when you get a hold of this Blu-ray set, are there any particular episodes you'd like to revisit?
I mean, selfishly, I'd like to revisit when Lex split in half, good Lex, bad Lex, and I get to see the infamous line where I say, "You were right about me all along, Mrs. Kent. I am the villain of the story." It always gave me chills. I was like, "Wow, I sold it. It was really." Moments like that, moments when I throw my father out of the building and kill him, even at the end when I kill my sister, there are a lot of great moments that I'm like, I'd like to go back and check those moments out. I haven't seen them in a long time. And just watching the pilot again, because I remember watching the pilot and thinking, this is very special, Craig. This is something that I haven't really been a part of, which is a real success story. And Smallville was the first success story of my career where, although I had some roles and I had a lot of fun doing them, this was the one where it all connected. Everything connected, and it worked. It was the perfect, I don't know, it just all came together, and the quality and the role, and I'm very fond of the character, and it's exciting. I look back, I'm like, wow, that pilot was mind-boggling. I spent so much money on it, the meteor shower, and it shows me as a young boy, and the domineering father, and right off the bat you feel sorry for him, which you never got to do in a lot of anytime they tried to show Lex in other movies or TV, you never saw that side. You never saw what caused him to be so evil, and we got to see that.
Did you think this would be a show that fans would still be talking about 20 years later?
No, I didn't. It's pretty incredible that with Hulu and now the Blu-rays coming out, that we have a brand new audience. It's almost like Smallville never was off the air. Like, it's still on the air, and in a lot of ways it is. And we're finding a new audience, and we keep finding new audiences, and those people are sharing it with their kids. Those kids are sharing it with their kids, and although we're not too old yet, I'm honored, man. It's crazy to think that people still will recognize me or still appreciate my work, or the work we did in Smallville.
Is it true that you and Tom are still putting together a Smallville animated project?
I'm not supposed to talk about it, but what I will say that we are doing we're working on an animated series. We're trying to get that off the ground. We got Alan Miles involved, and Tom and I pitched them, and they love this idea. And so I hired an artist, and hopefully we'll be pitching Warner Brothers, and we'll see what happens.
You mentioned Glover earlier, but can you talk about some of the people that made your Smallville experience special? I know you have a great friendship with Tom. You've had like Kristen and Laura on your inside of you, that sort of thing. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, working with so many great people, so many dynamic actors on that show. I was still young enough where at 26, when I'm working with John Schneider and O'Toole, I'm still nervous, and I feel like it helped the character of Lex being nervous around them and like not, always walking on eggshells. And, working with John Glover, he taught me so many things about being an actor and, the power of touch. And he would sometimes touch my face and say, Lex, I love you. And, all these things, it was just so dynamic. And then the relationship with Clark, who was, just kind of wet behind the ears and just knew a newbie and someone who didn't look down on me. And it all just fit. It was the perfect puzzle. It was just like everything made sense. And I was lucky to work with so many great actors.
What made you decide to return for the series finale?
Well, I think a lot of people thought I quit the show, and the show ended. I had a 6-year contract, and I ended up doing the 7th season, so I definitely didn't quit. But after 3 years, when they were finally finishing the show, I said, I was an integral part of the show. Lex Luthor was an integral part of the show. He needs to have some sort of finality. And I just felt like the fans deserved it. I deserved it. The show deserved it. And I called the writers at the time, because Alan Miles weren't on anymore. And I just said, hey, man, how's next Friday? Write some scenes for me, and I'll come in and work a full day. So I got to kill my sister, what's her name? Cassidy Freeman. I got to, have a scene with Clark that, was his final scene. And I got to see a little glimpse into the future of him wearing the white suit. So it was a good idea to do it. And I think everybody really appreciated it, including me.
Can you talk about the interactions you've had with fans in recent years? I know you do the Smallville Nights. Where can fans find you?
We do these conventions. Tom and I were doing Motor City Con in Detroit. We're doing LA Comic Con, and we have such a blast with fans, and everybody who meets us, I think, has a wonderful time too. We just are really great with the fans, and without them, we would be nothing, as you know. And we do a thing called Smallville Nights, where I wear a ball cap, Tom wears a flannel, we read scenes from the pilot, people interact with us, they get to read scenes, and we just have a real blast. And and I'm doing my podcast, which is called Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, as you know, and I get to bring on guests like Tom and Kristen Kruk and Stephen Amell and Justin Hartley, and I'm having Jensen Ackles back on the podcast, and Nick Frost is coming on from so just a lot of great people. And I'm blessed, man. I just like, it's fun to also talk about old times when you have Kristen or Tom or on the show. And, it's fun to explore our past.
Is it a lot more fun to be able to talk with them knowing that you don't have to work a 15-hour day?
Yes, that is absolutely more fun to just sit back and give them my undivided attention and just enjoy them for an hour, enjoy the human beings they've become. And, these candid conversations I have on the podcast are just really special to me. It forces me to focus, which is not easy for me, but I give them my undivided attention. I really enjoy listening to people. I don't have a list of questions. I just kind of talk off the cuff for the most part. And I talk about things that I think people want to hear. So I enjoy it.
Now, you had mentioned you wanted to go back and see Onyx, the episode where splits.
Onyx, yes.
Do you think you and maybe Tom or anybody might do a live watch sometime?
Yeah, we were talking about that. We were thinking, what a great show it would be if we had our own podcast and we were able to do viewings where we talk to people while we're watching. They watch it. Hey, at exactly this time, we're going to watch an episode. So make sure the episode's on 15 seconds past these credits. Mm-hmm. And we're going to start talking about it like Science Fiction 3000. Was that what it's called?
Mystery Science Theater.
Yes, and Mystery Science Theater, right?
Yeah.
And do something like that. But a viewing party or something would be great, especially with the Blu-ray coming out. That could be really cool.
Is there a part of you that wishes that things had worked out with Crisis so that you could have worked with Tom on screen again?
I'm working on a TV show that I wrote that Tom loves, and his wife was like, you have to do that. And so Tom and I are pitching it to a studio soon, and I think you'll get a kick out of it. We're hoping to sell it, and we want to work on screen together again. But yeah, it just, it was one of those things where it just didn't work out. when they came to me, it was one of those things where we don't have a script, we're not giving you any money, this is the way it is. And I sort of just been like, well, who's gonna in the right mind is gonna do something with it? They don't know what they're doing, they don't know where I didn't really think I fit in. I didn't think my character fit into that world. I think even on Smallville, my character was this dark force that just feels like this tortured soul, and I just, it maybe fit on Smallville, but I don't know if it would fit anywhere else. I'm not sure. And but when the right time comes, I'm sure you're going to see me shave my head again at some point.
Well, when I was doing my books, when we talked about Justice, you seemed really fond of that one because Lex actually got to be funny for a change.
Yeah, I always wanted to be funny, and some episodes I was able to show a little bit of humor. But yeah, that was always something I wanted to incorporate in the role, and at times we got to see that. Like there was a role where the Flash says something, and I say, and I want a ponytail. What was the other line? And I want a
Appointment bounds.
Disappointment abounds. And there was moments like that where the audience got a chuckle, I got a chuckle, I got to be somewhat funny, deliver something funny. And I'm always about trying to bring comedy to everything I do.
Well, you also would bring comedy to the set. What was the best prank you ever pulled on another cast member that has not been reported?
I would just show up, and then when they're doing their close-up, I'd walk in maybe with my pants down and a pair of boxer shorts, or just trying to make them laugh, make the crew laugh, get everybody excited about working 14 hours a day. And I was always joking around with everybody, trying to just lift spirits up, and also playing such a dark character that for myself, I wanted to entertain. I wanted to do like stand-up throughout the day. So it was always my feeling to just like, all right, I'm going to tell some jokes today. I'm going to make people laugh. I'm going to do some impressions. I'm going to keep the crew, and it was exhausting, trust me, but I did it anyway.
Do you think having a comedy or, comedic background kind of helped you with playing Lex, in that, people who are dramatic want to be loved as comics do? Do you think that fed into your performance as Lex?
Yeah, I think there was that, I feel like Lex just wanted to be loved. He wanted to be appreciated. He wanted to be trusted. He wanted, he never got those things. And he wanted to be more himself. He never got to be that little boy that was a prankster, that had fun, that like did all those things. So me as Michael Rosenbaum, I would do those things because I think Lex couldn't. It was kind of a difficult role to play. So I tried to be light on my feet and just have fun throughout the day to keep, so I can go into that dark place. Otherwise, I think I would have gone mental.
So we've got to wrap this up. So for my last question, why should fans be picking up this Blu-ray set on October 19th?
Yep, that's correct. People should buy the Blu-ray because I think they should see the show the way it was intended to be seen. I think they need to be seen in the highest quality with the best sound and really see how wonderful and beautiful the show was.
Nice. Wow. Blanche was ready.
Blanche was ready. Well, thanks, Craig. It's always a delight to talk to you.
Great to see you. Thanks again.